Hey, this is Tommy John, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Check out their tasty New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course, the king of all, those massive cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had. Probably be the best you ever have as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call. Find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. Yes! All right, welcome into everybody listening in on all of our network affiliates and our independents from coast to coast. Everybody also watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, WOW, and other cable television affiliates, other independent affiliates, plus Hotel TV, even on Chicago Food Favorites. A big welcome to everybody on Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Make sure to check that out, folks. We've got about almost 2,500 people on there now. We started about a year and a half ago just for kicks and giggles. And guess what? It's a fun page. Talk about your favorite foods, favorite restaurants, favorite recipes, or whatever the hell it is. Just don't spam it because I'm your administrator and I will boot your ass off. That's right. All right, by the way, folks, right off the top here, our buddies at Vacation Buddies, they have a trivia question for you. If you get the trivia question right, you can win a couple of nights in Las Vegas, a couple of nights in Branson, Missouri, a couple of nights in Orlando, Florida, or other surprise destinations. If you know the answer to this very simple trivia question, what basketball player athlete, very famous one, is the Jumpman that is noted on logos by Nike in the professional sports world? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Michael Jordan, C, LeBron James, or D, Kobe Bryant? If you know the answer to this question, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Right now, if you know the answer to this question, what basketball player superstar is the actual logo, the Jumpman logo, on professional sports jerseys throughout your favorite professional sports league? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Michael Jordan, C, LeBron James, or D, Kobe Bryant? If you know the answer, 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777 for your shot at a couple of nights in Branson, Missouri, Las Vegas, Orlando, Florida, or other surprise destinations. And of course, brought to you by Vacation Buddies, who is not affiliated with this station. All right. Getting into it. Now, imagine this. Imagine buying a lottery ticket and winning $83.5 million.
Show me the money!
That's right. Show me the money. But imagine if they say, being the powers that be, say, no, I don't think so. Well, check this out. This is according to, it is what it is, folks. It's CNN. Anyway, so a woman in Texas is suing the state's lottery commission for not paying out an $83.5 million award. What? Yeah. They actually had the winning lottery numbers, and that's actually, according to a court document obtained by the media. And of course, the quote is from the suit, quote, "Every Texan knows what that should mean when it comes to the lottery. If you win, you should get paid. it shouldn't take a lawsuit to get paid when you win the lottery. But that's exactly what happened here. Close quote. What kind of crap is that? That's unbelievable. I mean, look, the woman bought her ticket through a lottery courier service. Hell, I didn't even know they existed. So firms which allow customers to buy tickets virtually using a mobile app or other online interfaces. And of course, the woman identified only as Jane Doe in the suit purchased a ticket for the, quote, Lotto Texas, close quote, lottery game through an app called Jackpocket. And it was a little while back. And of course, her numbers matched those of the winning numbers recently pulled, and in fact, the same day, according to the actual lawsuit. And so, a week after Jane Doe won her ticket, then Texas Lottery Commission Executive Director Ryan Mindell announced a move to ban the courier service like the one that Doe used under Texas law. What? Why is that? Who the hell knows? Anyway, the ban became effective on a particular date, according to the Lottery Commission spokesman, and Mindell resigned just before this thing actually went into effect. Now, that's a little peculiar to me, but of course, I'm just wondering, like everybody else who's listening to this, like, what the heck is going on here? So a spokesman told CNN in an email, the commission, quote, does not comment on pending litigation, close quote. Now, the lawsuit also alleges Doe's unpaid winnings could be used to pay other Texas lottery winners or may be reallocated and redirected to, quote, other commission liabilities or purposes, close quote, potentially reducing the amount owed to her. What kind of crap is that? So attorneys for the woman have also filed for a temporary restraining order and requested for a temporary injunction to stop acting director of the Texas Lottery Commission, Sergio Rey, from doling out funds which the lawsuit alleges Jane Doe still has not received. In fact, here's a quote, and this is from a court document. Quote, if Mr. Rey is not restrained and enjoined from dispersing or diminishing the plaintiff's jackpot prize winnings, the plaintiff will suffer damages that will be incapable of being measured by any certain pecuniary standards before a notice is given and hearing is held on the plaintiff's application for temporary injunction, close quote. Now, of course, the media reached out to Texas Governor Greg Abbott's office, Jackpocket, and Rey, of course, for comments. I mean, what an absolute colossal disaster this is in the first place. I can't even understand this, but then again, I guess that is exactly what happens in these kind of situations. You know why? Because money happens to rule everything. I mean, it's unbelievable and it's disgusting. I mean, look, what is a lottery courier service in the first place? So for those that don't know, like me, I didn't know. A lottery courier service acts as a third-party vendor that buys lottery tickets on behalf of customers, coordinates the purchase of physical tickets through brick-and-mortar stores, then services often own and notify buyers if they win. And so, just the honesty part of that alone is commendable. So courier services are typically operated online through an app offering convenient ways to play the game. And some couriers even offer a national lottery game like Mega Millions and Powerball. So lottery couriers, which had begun operating about 6 years ago, became a real point of contention a couple of years back after a single entity bought $25 million in lottery tickets in less than 72 hours using one of these courier services. And of course, that was reported by WFAA. That's a station, that's an affiliate from CNN. Anyway, the entity purchased, quote, nearly every possible number combination, close quote, the release from the governor's office said at the time. And the investor doubled its money because the jackpot was so high and the winner took home $57.8 million before taxes, according to WFAA. So courier services operating in 19 states, according to a report published last year by the Florida Office of Program Policy Analysis and Government Accountability, actually exist. I had no idea, folks. Only 3 states, New York, New Jersey, Arkansas, regulate the courier service industry itself, According to the 2024 Texas House report from last year, without such regulations in Texas, couriers are not required to obtain a license or permission from Texas Lottery to operate, the report found. Now, of course, purchasing via lottery courier service has two advantages for the customer, said Victor Matheson, professor of economics at the College of the Holy Cross. Quote, it allows the buyer to conveniently buy tickets without having to go to a regular lottery retailer, and it also potentially allows out-of-state buyers to purchase tickets in any lottery across the country, close quote. And so the service can have drawbacks like a fee and, of course, legality issues, and a lack of limit as to how many tickets are purchased are another issue. Other legal concerns include the regulation of sales across state lines when each state controls its own lottery game, and, of course, sales to underage players, ticketed buyers, syndicates, and other issues. Now, look, folks, I think this is a really good thing for those that may be handicapped and they don't have the ability to go to the outlets to go buy stores or buy the tickets in the storefronts in the first place. I think that's a pretty good thing. So now Jane Doe, who won $83.5 million fair and square, now she is being held back from what? From claiming her prize. How disgusting, how repulsive. That's just as bad as cheating in sports and the gambling fixes that we all see in sports. How remarkably disgusting. Back here in a few minutes on The Circus, folks. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere. I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
If you'd like to borrow up to $100,000 and get pre-approved in minutes, call the number we'll give you at the end of this commercial. Our lending partners have already loaned millions of dollars to individuals just like you, and we're ready to lend you up to $100,000 if you qualify. Even if your credit is not perfect, you can use the money to pay off high-interest credit cards, for home renovations, or consolidate existing debt. You can get flexible, easy-to-pay terms. The consultation to find out if you qualify is free. To find out if you qualify for our special financing program, call this toll-free number 24 hours a day. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. That's 800-335-1376. Important terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Loan amount, annual percentage rate, and term will vary depending on creditworthiness. Applying does not guarantee approval. Account approval is subject to verification and confirmation of your credit history and acceptance by a lender. If you choose to apply for a loan through us, a consumer report will be obtained to evaluate your creditworthiness in connection with your application for credit.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by our friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. Folks, make sure you check them out. They've been with us for about 8.5 years right here on the Sports Circus. They get the super applause. Yes! All right, welcome back to everybody. Listening in on all of our affiliates, including our friends over in Atlanta, WDJY. Thanks for waking up with us on 99.1 FM over in Auburn, Alabama, actually from Columbus, Georgia, all the way over to Montgomery, Alabama, out of Auburn, WAUD, and that is 1230 on the AM dial, home of the Atlanta Braves. Welcome into everybody up and down through the Midwest, all the way out to the West Coast, including our friends on Highway Country Radio, 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM on that drive between LA and Vegas. If you're rumbling up and down Interstate 15 and you hear this, well, guess what? That is also the home of the Raiders and the Vegas Golden Knights. Also, a big welcome into our friends over in Honolulu, CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the 49ers, Yankees, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, plus everybody else on TV and radio, you know who you are. By the way, in case you missed it, in the last segment, we've got a trivia question here brought to you by our friends over at Vacation Buddies. If you know the answer to the simple trivia question, you could pick up a couple of nights in Vegas, a couple of nights in Branson, Missouri, a couple of nights in Orlando, or other possible select and surprise locations. If you know the answer to this, which basketball player is the famous player, of course, that's on the Nike logo with the Jumpman image? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Michael Jordan, C, LeBron James, or D, Kobe Bryant? Call 888-576-5777 right now. 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. If you know the answer right now, which player is the logo, is actually portrayed as the logo on the Nike jerseys, those professional jerseys? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Michael Jordan, C, LeBron James, or D, Kobe Bryant? 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Call right now for your shot at a couple of free nights in those locations, plus a whole lot more. Yes! All right. So I got something for you here. How about this from the Radiology Affiliates Imaging Organization? Now, they put out a article on the most dangerous sports. And this goes back through men's health and miscellaneous sports, imagery, injuries, and women's health, etc., and so forth. So this is one of those really long drawn outs, but we're going to go ahead and paraphrase it for you. And of course, they say, well, playing sports is fun and good for you, and engaging in physical activity helps build muscle and strengthen your heart, for example, and the exercise improvement your mood, boosts your energy, and it helps you sleep better. Sometimes sports, though, can be dangerous and cause injury or even death. How about the alleged 4 deadly and dangerous sports? And the first one on the list, needless to say, is one that's arguably the most exciting. It's base jumping. And of course, if you don't know what it is, I mean, look, a lot of organizations and studies and whatnot say it is clearly the champion in deadliest extreme sports in the world. And of course, the acronym BASE stands for the 4 fixed objects from which base jumpers can actually jump. Either buildings, antennas like big radio antennas, spans or big bridges, and of course, earth for cliffs. So base jumping is more dangerous than parachuting because the fixed objects are much lower to the ground, which means there is less time for a parachute to open in the first place. So a study done about 18 years ago, researchers reviewed 20,850 jumps occurring over an 11-year cycle. 9 of those jumps were fatal. 82 are non-fatal. Base jumping is even more dangerous for those wearing wingsuits to extend the flight time. So imagine, like you see in cartoons, how I don't know, I watch cartoons all the time, so you could see the arms flap back and forth and whatnot. Well, what you see in those, needless to say, are sometimes, these are like really for like Tom and Jerry, you'll see a lot of that stuff. And so you'll see, for example, Tom will be trying to catch Jerry, or better yet, it's the Roadrunner and, of course, the Coyote. The Coyote, always with his Acme stuff, always finds himself on the wrong side, the wrong side of luck. Can't seem to get the Roadrunner. But yeah, so that was referring to those wings to help increase your distance, right? So also those non-fatal injuries associated with base jumping include ankle sprains and fractures, minor head concussions, and bruised knees. All right, and we already know there's a whole flurry of other base jumping injuries, but they also say out of the 4 deadly and dangerous sports, swimming is the deadliest non-extreme sport. Now, I would have never guessed that one. But they say, claiming an average of 11 lives in the United States every day, according to the CDC. I'm not really sure how the Center for Disease Control fits in there, but whatever the case, it doesn't matter. There is an average of 22 non-fatal drownings every day. Swimming can also cause neck injuries, swimmer's shoulder, don't even know what that one is, and swimmer's knee, which, here's the funny thing about that. Well, it's not really funny, but you think of swimming as a non-impact sport. So it's supposed to be really, really, really good for you. Great for your muscles and everything else because you use all of your muscles and not just a select group, like if you're running, for example. But you have swimmer shoulder, which I have no idea what swimmer shoulder is. Well, going to have someone Google that and you'll get an extra chance to win. 888-576-5777. Maybe there's another trivia question for those free trips, right? Vegas, Branson, Orlando, maybe even possibly Cancun, maybe even with airfare, maybe even with a gift card from Visa, one of those $50 gift cards, if you can remember that one. Swimmer's shoulder. What the hell is swimmer's shoulders? And what's a swimmer's knee? So the third one is bicycling, something that I do on a regular 20, 30, 40, 50 miles a day. So they say nearly 1,000. When I say they, by the way, in case you're keeping score, again, this is the Radiology Affiliates Imaging Organization, a radiology partner of practice. So they say bicycling, nearly 1,000 bicyclists die each year, according to, of course, the CDC, which, again, I'm trying to figure that one out. And more than 130,000 sustained injuries. Adults between 55 and 69 have the highest rate of death, but adolescents, teens, and young adults have the highest injury rate. Imagine that. So bicycling deaths and injuries often involve collisions with motor vehicles, do you think? Also, they say most common bicycling injuries include knee pain, head injuries, neck or back pain, wrist or forearm pain, or numbness, and foot numbness and tingling. Well, whenever you have this numbness and tingling, that's usually a nerve issue. And I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. And I'm coming up with 22 instead of 4, understanding this foot and or forearm pain. Maybe the forearm pain from all the pressure of leaning forward to the handlebars. I guess that is a real thing. The foot numbness and tingling, I'm trying to understand this one because it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. And of course, they also say out of the 4 most deadly sports is running. And of course, running, they say, well, it's popular, sometimes dangerous. As with bicycling, running deaths are sometimes due to collisions with motor vehicles. Well, it's not really the runners running into the vehicles, but nonetheless, as runners often share the road. What the hell are they doing running in the road in the first place? I don't even understand that one. Also, sudden cardiac arrest is the most common cause of death, especially among marathon runners. So if you're thinking about running that 26-mile deal, think again. Still, the risk of death while running a marathon is low, according to the study, and researchers show that there is about 1 death per 149,968 marathon participants. Why don't they just say, look, they're 32 off 150,000. Really, seriously, just say 150,000. That would seem a little bit better. What do you think?
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
Yeah, I don't understand it. Anyway, about half of all the runners will suffer a non-fatal injury each year. Injuries are sometimes caused by trauma, such as a fall, but most are right? And so as with those, running injuries include runner's knee, stress fractures, muscle pulls, ankle sprains, and shin splints. Shin splints, you know what, folks? Shin splints are real common for people running on pavement. And frankly, the knee injuries are too. They say, well, you may have a stress fracture, you could have an MCL issue, an ACL issue, and if you have these, maybe a patella issue. Now, I know even my sister, she's had numerous knee issues, and I think it's because she probably runs on pavement. That's my best guess, but she maintains that she doesn't necessarily do that much of it, but boy, it seems like she's always on the shelf, and she's in great shape, but for Christ's sakes, I don't understand it. So run on dirt, soft dirt, or one of those running tracks, like an outdoor track at a high school or college or even a grade school. Sometimes they have those too. That seems to make the most sense for me. And I was running every night about 5 miles a day, and I was having really severe shin splints because you're just not supposed to run on pavement. And they say, well, you're running with the wrong shoes. So I bought a pair of shoes. Then I bought another pair of shoes and another pair of shoes. And unfortunately, it was the shoes that didn't make a difference. No, it was the fact that I was running on pavement in the first place. So anyway, folks, I guess the moral of the story is just go ahead if you're going to run on sand, run on a soft surface. I mean, be careful on grass because grass, there's divots and whatnot. You can roll your ankle. Anyway, back here in a few minutes with a little bit more of this danger in sports thing. Lots more to come. Don't go anywhere. And don't forget to call 888-576-5777 and answer that trivia question for your free trip possibility. Back here in a few. Yes! I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello Americans, it's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for upcoming guests, our prior guests, recorded shows, of course. Also, there's a tab right at the top. It says Store. Make sure you check out the store. A shameless plug for the circus. Lots of wonderfully made, handmade, American-made hats, t-shirts, sweatpants, coats, coffee mugs, travel mugs, mouse pads, pillows, whatever the hell it is. Check it out at the Sports Circus store. It's across the top on the tabs at thesportscircus.com. Check that out. Lots of great stuff. Mention my name for an extra 10% off from the Sports Circus store. And remember, a shameless plug, of course, for the circus. All right, welcome back to everybody on TV and radio. You know who you are. Everybody streaming. Of course, our friends on Chicago Food Favorites. Thanks for joining us there as well. And folks, make sure you, if you don't know about it, check it out on Facebook, a fun group, a free group. Post your favorite restaurants, favorite recipes, your favorite foods, whatever. Have some fun with it. And this is for people across all parts of this globe. And in fact, it's for people in all four corners of the earth, for all you flat earthers out there. Right. All right. Anyway, folks. So I left off with these dangerous sports, and the most dangerous sports allegedly from, of course, the Radiology Affiliates Imaging Organization. Then, of course, they say, well, 7 sports most likely to cause injury. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. They, of course, are the usual suspects: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and cheerleading. Of course, cheerleading, because they throw women and stuff like that, and men and all kinds of crazy things. But how about this one? How about, here's a couple here that are not actually mentioned. Boy, wait till you hear what I got in the last segments. This is for all the guys out there that talk to a lot of the women out there, and they trail their voices off with, oh yeah, the sky's blue, and that is the worst thing in the world. I just can't stomach that. Oh my God. So folks, you know what I'm talking about. It's that stuff. Anyway, and I've got a piece of an interview with that, and actually some good analysis on that. So if people trailing off with the growly voice thing gets under your skin, that's the whole next segment. Okay, so back with this dangerous sport thing here. So there's something, in case you don't know, this is kind of a fun one, but it's something called Cooper's Hill. So Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake. So of course the Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake is an annual event held on the spring bank holiday at Cooper's Hill at Brockworth near Gloucester, England. And participants race down a 200-yard long hill chasing a wheel of double Gloucester cheese. And it's uncertain whether the tradition first began here or there or whatever, but it's possibly much older than its earliest known written testament back in 1826. In fact, the event has a long tradition held by people of the village, but now people from a wide range of countries take part in this mayhem as well. And of course, The Guardian calls it, quote, world famous event, close quote. And of course, with winners coming from Australia, Belgium, Canada, Egypt, Germany, Japan, New Zealand, and these United States of America. And in case you don't know, the format is pretty simple. From the top of the hill, a 7 to 9 pound round double Gloucester cheese is sent rumbling down the hill, which is 200 yards long, as I mentioned, and with a slope of around 50%, about 26 degrees. I mean, that is a sharp-ass angle. Let me tell you something, folks. You think you're going to catch that runaway cheese? Guess again. Competitors then start racing downhill after the cheese and rumbling and tumbling down after trying to catch it. First person over the finish line at the bottom of the hill wins with the cheese. Got to have it, though. And, of course, competitors aim to catch the cheese. However, it has around a 1 second head start. So now you're chasing this thing rumbling down the hill. It's kind of like chasing a bowling ball, but going downhill, enough to knock over an injured spectator for sure. And so nonetheless, so if you're basically down in the line of fire, you're going to get ran over by a ball of cheese. And in fact, multiple races are held during the day with separate events for men and women. Now, how come we don't have the transgender thing going on in there, if you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe there's not enough money in it or something like that. But of course, there's a little history to it. Of course, the ceremony began way back Monday, but with later moved to Spring Bank Holiday. The first written evidence of the cheese rolling is found in a message written to the Gloucester Town Crier in 1826. Even then, it was apparent that the event was an old tradition, and it's believed to be at least 600 years old. Wow. Now, I did not know this, and I don't know who knew this, but got to tell you, folks, that's pretty damn exciting. And so, look, all the way back, I mean, the history of it is funny, it's interesting, but there's a lot of injuries in this too. And this is where I was going. So due to the steepness and uneven surface of Cooper's Hill, there are usually several injuries every year. So St. John's Ambulance have previously provided first aid coverage at the event. However, this stopped in 2012 when the event was no longer being officially managed. Now it's just utter chaos. And of course, Canadian competitors, Delaney Irving won the ladies' race in 2023 despite finishing unconscious and even learning of her victory at the medical enclosure in the first place. That's unbelievable. Now, a total of 6 competitors were transported to hospitals by ambulance treatment following that event. And Cooper's Hill cheese rolling has been summarized by a previous participant as, quote, 20 young men chasing a cheese off a cliff and tumbling 200 yards to the bottom where they're scraped up by paramedics and packed off to the hospital. I mean, it's not really a laughing matter, but it kind of is. I mean, look, there's no official medical provisions on site, leading to concerns from the local resilience forum about safety of the event. And they started kind of keeping track of this officially way back in 1948. But the fact that somebody won while being unconscious deserves an astounding round of applause. That's pretty damn cool. I mean, look, of course, there's cheese rolling in popular culture, and it goes all the way back to 1948 and whatnot. But the latest, in 2021, the game Animal Crossing New Horizons has a special item called Double Gloucester Cheese that's only available from May 22nd to May 31st every year, and of course the period in which the event actually takes place. And Netflix did a documentary on it as well called We Are the Champions, which covered 6 bizarre events and competitions from across the world, starting with cheese rolling at Cooper's Hill. So this is a pretty popular thing, folks. In case you didn't know, cheese rolling is serious business, and it is serious business at the same time. But here's something else that a lot of people don't know about, and it is the Isle of Man TT races. So imagine, this little itty-bitty island across the Atlantic, one of the world's most unusual and dangerous sporting events is about to get underway. Well, then again, they always say that. It's always about to get underway. But let's just say it just happens over there. But it's a 30-mile-long Isle of Man itself is the island size, and it sits in the middle of the Irish Sea, which is a pretty volatile sea. Of course, with England to the east, Ireland to the west. And of course, one is the seat. It used to be the seat of the Viking Kingdom way back in the day. So all you Minnesota Viking fans, that is your Graceland, apparently, if you know what I mean. And so, nonetheless, if you look at this and say, all right, well, what the hell are they doing? So look, the people there, they're Manxes, whatever. They have their own language and and all this other stuff. But there is something else that goes on over there, folks. But for 2 weeks every year, it becomes the loudest and fastest, most dangerous place on earth. This is for you, Rocco Kelly and Ian Rakelli. Listen, it's a racing thing. And so I know everything that Ian likes is that. So guess what? This is racing, and to the nth degree. Look at it this way. And it becomes the fastest, loudest, most dangerous place in sports. In fact, Peter Hickman says, of course, it's like nothing else. No matter what you've done in your life, until you see a bike do what we're doing, is what he says, nothing compares to it at all. So, of course, British motorcycle racer Peter Hickman is one of the best in the world and a 13-time winner of the race known as the Isle of Man TT, short for both Tourist Trophy and Time Trial. But not long before they met Hickman, they watched him fly over the first jump on the course at a place known as Ago's Leap. And of course, Bill Whitaker said, we saw you go by that leap. And truly, it was a blur. And of course, while I was laughing, and it was just that, like a speeding bullet. How bleeping fast do you think you were going, he asked, when you went by there. So this is super, super dangerous. And the leap was about 185 to 195 miles an hour, right around there. It's top gear. I mean, full bore, open up. So if you like this kind of thing, got to tell you, folks, this is your Graceland. So besides the blinding speeds, what truly makes the Isle of Man TT unique is that the run is only on public roads that are open to normal traffic until just 30 minutes before the race begins in the first place, on a 37-mile course that covers much of the island, running through the villages and pastures and whatnot. So this is, man, you are really, really out there. If you want to see something cool, check out the Isle of Man TT. Now, that is a super cool thing, folks. I would have never, ever thought of that. But then again, well, I'm not a racing kind of guy. I mean, I like watching it, but it's like for me, I like watching hockey because I watch the fights and maybe a hockey game will break out, if you know what I mean. Back here in a few minutes on The Circus. Lots more to come, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 800-335-7196. 800-335-7196. That's 800-335-7196.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for upcoming guests, prior guests, and of course, all of our shows can be found on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, iHeart, Stitcher, Deezer, plus all other streaming platforms. Also, you could go back right on Chicago Food Favorites and listen to it as well, as long as Facebook keeps it up. I think they keep them up for 30 days at a time. But also, when you're at thesportscircus.com, go to the partners page. Lots of great partners over there. And one of our favorites is Al's Number One Italian Beef, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. That's Al's Number One Italian Beef, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. And if you can't get over there for some great food, check them out at alsbeef.com. That's alsbeef.com. And you can learn all about the history of this incredible sandwich. And it goes back to about 117 years ago. And Al's Beef is the originator. They are the creators. They've been in business since 1938. Check them out at alsbeef.com. All right, welcome back to everybody. TV, radio, you know who you are. And boy, I got to tell you, this segment, I've been waiting a long time to do this one. And this is something that just drives me bleeping crazy. And for all you guys out there and all you women out there that hear people talk and they'll trail off their last couple of words and almost like they're growling the words out, it is a complete and utter abomination to the English language. Why are we talking about it? Because we can. And on top of it, a lot of these female sports, they're not even commentators. These are just the people that do sideline BS reporting or locker room BS reporting. Well, hey, it looks like Joe is pregnant. Joe's wife is pregnant right now and all this other crap. And they talk about crap that doesn't really matter to the game itself. And they're just burning time and checking a box. Okay, so this one is for all you ladies that are not even doing that. These are the ones that we talk to, our friends, our family, our colleagues. Oh, the work ones, those are the best. And why does it matter? Because I said it matters today, and it's my program. And listen, out of the thousands of shows that I've done, this is one of those ones from a segment standpoint that this has to be my favorite segment or one of them. So without further ado, I found a video on YouTube by this guy. His name is Dr. Jeff Lindsay. I want to play this for you for just a little bit so you can understand what this guy is talking about. And there's something called vocal fry, like a French fry. It's called vocal fry. What is it? Who does it? And why people hate it. So I'm going to give you a few minutes of this. And now this was put out about a year ago, but this has been going on for a long bleeping time. And this drives me bleeping crazy. So check this out. This is Dr. Jeff Lindsay. And this is his YouTube video, so check him out and subscribe to him, whatever. I don't get paid anything for this, but this is the best damn example I have found of this vocal fry thing yet. Here we go. Listen to this.
It's not often a phonetic term becomes virtually a household word, but vocal fry is more or less that. Of course, familiarity isn't the same thing as understanding. In fact, it breeds contempt, so I thought I'd devote a video to the phenomenon. As many people understand it, vocal fry means a low, creaky kind of voice, which is used at the end of sentences by young American females of a certain type, and which is widely considered irritating and even dangerous.
The Kardashians, we get through things and we get through them together.
My answer was no.
Life is about hardship,
enjoying the fruits of my labor,
and how you get through them.
Creating so many memories here.
Memories is all that we have at the end of the day.
I wish that everybody knew how beautiful and delicious your heart was.
Oh my God, stop it already!
Things together.
Memories here.
Everybody knew.
End of the day.
Heart was.
Thank you.
Who the hell likes
let's
that?
Explore all of that. Vocal fry is indeed a creaky kind of voice. In fact, creaky voice is the technical term preferred in Britain. It's the one I was taught, while vocal fry has been used more in America. The two different names highlight the two main features of the sound. Firstly, and most importantly, creaking sounds have a very low frequency, low enough that you can make out individual creaks.
Falsetto, modal, and then fry.
Normally, the vocal cords or vocal folds vibrate so fast, often hundreds of times a second, that on video they're just a blur, like the flapping of an insect's wings. But in creaky voice, you can actually make out individual flaps. Secondly, like the sound of food frying, vocal fry is very often irregular. That is, the successive vibrations can be very erratic, unlike the regularity of normal voicing, here slowed down massively by stroboscopy. A really common pattern in creaky voice or vocal fry is semi-regularity, with bigger, longer vibrations alternating with smaller, shorter ones. Next question. Is vocal fry used at the end of sentences? Well, certainly the most common place for it to turn up in English is as the end part, the aftermath, of a falling intonation pattern. That's where it was in all those examples from the Kardashians. And it's not at all hard to find videos with young American women ending practically every sentence in vocal fry.
The risks of public Wi-Fi sometimes outweigh the benefits. The director of mobile product marketing for Samsung, talked to us about some of the risks of public Wi-Fi.
Sure, so
how do you protect yourself around public Wi-Fi?
Make sure you use it with a VPN.
What are some of the reasons we need to still use them? And what's an example of a risk that you might incur if you were on public Wi-Fi?
The romantic ballet period, where the gender roles of ballet kind of diverged. Technique-wise, they're just very different skill sets. There are just some things due to biology that men can do that females can't athletically.
And here is an ad for Airbnb from over a decade ago.
I'm staying here for the weekend. I can book from anywhere. Guests and hosts can leave reviews for each other. You can read reviews left by previous guests.
Treat myself to something special once in a while. When I'm out of town, I put my place on Airbnb.
Weekend anywhere for each other. Previous guests.
Once in a while on Airbnb.
In fact, after hearing so much vocal fry, it may be worth reminding ourselves that American women don't have to do this with their falling intonations. Sorry about that. If there's one thing this channel is known for...
It's crazy. So this whole... By the way, folks, that was Dr. Jeff Lindsay. And I found this video. He did it about a year ago, explaining this crap. It is the most frustrating thing. You're listening to, for example, an interview with somebody in a locker room or on the sidelines or whatever it is, and they have to, after every or at the end of every damn sentence. When did that become acceptable in broadcasting in the first place? Never! Never, ever, ever, as I know it as. Believe it. No! That in itself is enough to make anybody lose their minds. And seriously, and how many times have you sat in a conversation and you heard somebody do this? So it's not just the reporters on TV or the sideline report, whatever the hell it is, or even the news people on Pick Your Favorite Broadcast. Why are we talking about it? A, because we can, and B, it happens every damn day on Pick Your Favorite Sports Station, your favorite sports program. Whenever there is a female announcer to a degree, they always, at the end of it, they always fry their voices, as Dr. Jeff Lindsay stated. And that in itself is an abomination of the English language, and it's remarkably annoying. And you ask, well, okay, we know what it is, and why do they do it? I mean, really? I mean, is it a voice disorder? No. Is it a medical issue? No. Do they think it's cool? Apparently. So there are some social aspects to it, I guess. I don't know. Some people say, well, anxiety and stress. That's a bunch of BS. This isn't about anxiety and stress. This is about trying to sound cool, right? And so there's the old vocal fry has become a trendy vocal feature, especially among young women, according to Google. potentially influenced by celebrities and social media itself. Come on. Enough with this crap already. And then they go on to say, they also say, well, it relaxes people. Vocal fry can create a, quote, laid back, or a close quote, or, quote, cool, close quote, sound, making it appealing for some to use this stylistic choice.
Stop it!
Seriously, enough of this already. But then there are cultural norms. We can't forget about those, right? And of course, Google says, well, guess what? It technically could be a medical factor. I don't think so, because that's learned behavior. I mean, their first words like mama dada. We don't hear that kind of thing. No, what we hear are people trying to be cool. They're trying to be hip. They're trying to be whatever you want to say, because they're using this local fry crap in the first place. Vocal fry is got to be, I mean, hell, I thought sitting next to somebody chewing with their mouth open was my worst pet peeve. And then second, a close second would be ending a sentence in the word so, or saying like, or you know, like Mr. You know. But the reality is this vocal fry thing has to be the worst of the worst. And especially when, not only does it really drive you bananas, but when you hear it on television or on the radio on a regular basis, and you're wondering, why is it that people are doing it? Oh, that's right, because they think they're sounding cool. But why else do they do it? Because they're so used to doing it, they don't even know that they're doing it in the first place. That's right, and that's the extended boo. Really, truly, that is the extended boo, because nothing, in my opinion, as far as voice and diction goes, is worse than ending a sentence with the word so, saying you know before every damn sentence. But vocal fry is a whole level above. You know, they say, well, let's take it to the next level. That's kind of a common catchphrase. Well, we're going to go to another level. Well, why didn't you start there in the first place? But now the vocal fry thing is that truly at the next level of annoyance, because that's the kind of thing that will make people lose their minds, especially me. And I've been doing this for a very long time. And honestly, folks, as I see it, this is, or that is, truly as bad as it sounds. And this is widespread over TV, whether it's sports, whether it's the news, whether it's popular talk shows. I guess it's real popular there. And it's also popular on those TV shows that Dr. Lindsay was talking about. Folks, just stop doing this vocal fry crap. Seriously, enough.
Stop it.
And we'll go ahead and move forward. That's going to do it for today's show here on The Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, and we'll see you in about 24 hours right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
If I was your mother and you had a drug problem, I'd grab you by the ear and make you call and get help. You can be in treatment tomorrow and start to get clean in 7 days. Follow Mom's advice and call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. Write this number down.
800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. That's 800-814-8628.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.